Good morning, all of you. In today's class, we are going to discuss about LR0 parsing. What are the steps involved in LR0 parsing? We have to follow 6 steps for LR0 parsing. First step is for the given input string, write the context free grammar. So, we need to write the context free grammar for the given input string. Second step is we need to check the ambiguity of the grammar. Is there any duplication in the grammar? We need to check it. Then third one is the add. We need to add augmented protection to the grammar. So what is augmented protection? In the remaining slide, in the next slide we will be discussing. Next step, create a canonical collection of LR0 items. What is canonical collection of LR0 items? That also we will be discussing. And we need to draw the data flow diagram. And finally we need to construct the LR of 0 parsing table. So these 6 steps we need to follow while parsing LR of 0. We have taken one example grammar for the LR of 0 parsing. That grammar is there are 3 protections. S implies capital A, and here S is a non-terminal, capital A is a non-terminal. And second protection, capital A implies small a, capital A. This is one protection. And third one is A implies small b. So there are 3 protections here. So this we have taken as an example grammar for parsing the LR of 0. So here this is called context free grammar. This grammar is called context free grammar. And if you check any ambiguity, there is no duplication in that grammar. So first step and second step satisfied. Now we need to move on to the third step. So third step is adding the augmented protection in the given grammar. We need to add the augmented protection. So if we can write, if we are able to write one additional protection based on the grammar, then that is called augmented protection. So our given grammar is S turns to capital A turns to small a, capital A / B. Here S, capital A are non-terminals, small a and small b are terminals. So I have written one additional protection which is S dash implies S. So this is called augmented protection. If we are able to write this type of protection, additional protection, then that is called augmented protection. So we have added the augmented protection. So what for we are adding the augmented protection? Augmented protection helps to identify when to stop the parser and announce the accept string. When to stop the parser and when to accept the input string. That is decided by the augment protection. Next step is create canonical collection of LR0 items. An LR0 item is a protection G with dot at some position on the right hand side of the protection. So we have seen one protection S implies AA, capital AA. Here we have written the canonical collection which is S implies capital A dot capital A. So one dot is placed in between both the A's. So if it is done like this, one dot is placed, then that is called canonical collection of LR0 items. LR0 items are useful to indicate that how much of the input has been scanned up to a given point. Since we are placing the dot, So it is useful to indicate how much of the input has been scanned up to a given point in the process of passing. Actually, scanning is done during passing. That scanning is moving to right hand side of the protection. In LR of 0, we place the reduce in entire row. In LR of 0, we place the reduce in entire row. So next step is draw the DFT diagram, data flow diagram, for the given grammar. So the given grammar, this construction of a data flow diagram contains 7 states starting from I0 to I6. Here this first the protections are written from the grammar with the augmented protection, which is S dash implies yes, capital S, and capital S implies capital A, and the third protection is capital A implies small a, capital A slash small b. Now we are moving to another state by taking the input. If you take yes, if you consider yes from I0, which is a non-terminal, after taking yes, it is moving on to the I1 state. See the I1 state. Now the dot is placed. We are scanning now. We are moving the dot. So place the, after taking yes, then place the dot after yes to the right hand side. So the augmented protection, which is yes dash implies yes, will become yes dash implies yes dot. Dot is placed at the right hand side. So since after dot there is no terminal or non-terminal available, so then we can what we have to do next, that we will see. Then from I0 to I2, how we are moving to I2 state? By taking capital A, on capital A, the DFT diagram moves to from I0 to I2. See, yes implies A, capital A dot A. Now one dot is moved right. So the actual protection is yes implies AA. Now after scanning, one A is scanned and dot is placed at the right hand side, then again capital A. And coming to the next protection, on A implies dot small a. Now the dot is placed in the first position. Small a, capital A slash small b. And coming to I3 state, on A, small a, on small a, from I0 to I3 state is moved. So in I3 state, on A, by taking A, small a, the protection A, capital A implies small a dot. The dot is moved right hand side one step ahead. So small a dot capital A. And again the capital A implies it remains same, dot small a capital A. And again third protection, A implies dot B, small b. So this is in I3 state. This is happening in I3 state. And by taking B from I0 state, by taking B, it moves to I4 state. So it takes B as input. So we need to place the dot symbol after the small b. So A implies small b dot. Now I0, I1, I2, I3 and I4, 5 states have been produced so far. Now take the I2 state. From I2 state, by taking small a, which is a non-terminal, it moves to I3 state. How? If it takes small a as input, then in the production we need to place the dot after small a. So if you place the small a after if you place the dot after small a, then the production will become a implies small a dot capital A. So that production is present in the I3 state. So while taking a from I2, it again goes to the I3 state. From I3 state, if it takes a, again, if it takes from I3, if it takes a, again it moves to the I3 state. From I3 state, if it takes b, then the production will become a implies b dot. That production is present in the I4. So that is why by taking b, it is moving on to I4 state. And from I1 state, if you take capital A, which is a non-terminal, we need to reduce. So by taking capital A, the augmented production will become S implies capital A dot. So dot is placed at the right hand side. So after dot, there is no terminal or non-terminal to be replaced or shifted. So this is the final state. The I5 will be the final state. And from I2, if you take A, capital A, again the production will be A implies small a capital A dot. So that is production is I6 state. And from I1 state, if you take small b as input, then that production will be capital A implies b dot. This is the production after taking b from I1 state. So that production is present in the I4th state. That is why an arrow is drawn from I1 to I4 by taking the input b. So this is how we are constructing the data flow diagram by using the production rules. So we need to move the dot at right. If it is a non-terminal, we need to shift. If it is a non-terminal, we need to reduce the production. If it is a terminal, we need to shift the production. So 2 points you should remember. During parsing, if it is a non-terminal, we need to reduce the parsing. We need to reduce the production. If it is a terminal, we need to shift the production. So these two we need to remember. So with this data flow diagram, I conclude the today's class. In the remaining part of this class will be continued in the next class. Thank you.